for Education and Skills the establishment of an interdepartmental review group to deal with the consequences of cyberbullying, particularly in the school environment. Deputy, 4 minutes.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach, and thanks to the Ceann Comhair's office for affording me the opportunity to speak on this matter, and also thanks very much to the Minister for being here in person to address the issue. I think everybody in this House will agree that cyberbullying is a huge problem, it's a growing problem, and obviously we have in our minds the families of Ciara Pugsley and Erin Gallagher, who reportedly died by suicide as a result of cyberbullying in the recent past. Minister, I got 2 responses to 2 parliamentary questions recently, one from your own department and one from the Department of Justice. And your own department are saying that a working group is due to report by the end of November, and I think, in fairness, your own department have been quite proactive in relation to bullying and are taking the issues in relation to cyberbullying quite seriously. I think anybody, though, with a fair mind would say that schools are not the only answer. Children do not live in schools, they live in communities. Families have a huge role to play. Parents have a huge role to play. Often if a parent is asked or told or it's indicated to them that their child may be actually involved in any sort of bullying, it's a very difficult thing for them to take, and they assume that their own parenting skills are being brought into question, and that is not the case. Bullying can happen to anybody, and it can happen by anybody. But the Department of Justice response, it seems to indicate there's a grey area relating to cyberbullying, because Section 10 of the 1997 Non-Fatal Offences Against the Person Act, we're not sure if cyberbullying actually can come under that section, and so it's been sent to the Law Reform Commission. What I'm suggesting, Minister, is that we probably need a cross-departmental group to discuss this issue in order to really tackle it properly, because it doesn't just lie under the remit of the Department of Education and doesn't just lie under the remit of the Department of Justice. And if we were to do that and to have such a group, there's a number of things that have been outlined by the spunout.ie group, who believe that this group could potentially investigate how can schools intervene in cases of cyberbullying, even if the bullying happens off-site. Clarifying if current legislation offers any remedy to victims, such as barring or restraining orders, as well as providing guidance to Gardaí and schools on how to deal with cases of cyberbullying. There are clarifications that schools need and that individual members of An Garda Síochána need from the authorities that set out these guidelines. We need to examine establishing a team within the Gardaí who can track IP addresses through internet service providers. Now, the Department of Justice say that the internet providers are quite proactive on this and work not just within the law but within the spirit of the law, but we need to really nail that down. And how we can encourage schools to work with parents, reminding them to monitor their child's internet use and help their children if they are victims of cyberbullying, and also to help their children if they feel that their children are engaging in bullying behaviour. Often the victim of bullying is the person who actually becomes the bully after that. So I would suggest to you, Minister, that while your own department are doing great work, and while the Department of Justice are certainly mindful of the serious issue of cyberbullying, my request to you is to consider that a cross-departmental group needs to be established in order to properly tackle this issue, and I'd appreciate if you could respond to that request. Thanks.
Minister, 4 minutes.